Show of hands, how many people has dealt with pain somewhere in your life? Right? Today, I wanted to just really hit on something. Successfully dealing with pain. I think you hear many stories, and every story I just sat in the back room and listened to. I'm watching these people triumph and figure out ways to keep going. But how do you keep going? Why do you keep going? When the world says everything else is supposed to be opposite.
To whom much is given, much is required. You have been blessed, invested in by this great faculty. You won't ever receive the kind of knowledge that you've received in your time here. But I wish that you would couple that knowledge with something else. Wisdom. Wisdom from somewhere. That combination will keep you centered.
I knew something was wrong. And I there with it, Pop. And all of my players looking at me and they're like, "You all right, Lou?" And I'm like, "I'm good, let's go." But I know I ain't good. And I know something's functionally not right. Something's wrong. Because I can feel a burn. And 3 more plays after, 5 more plays after, 7 more plays after, 8 more plays after. I'm still out there fighting with my team. Because it's the 4th quarter. And you can't leave the battlefield. You can only leave the battlefield for injury, not pain.
It was John Maxwell who said leadership is influence, nothing more, nothing less. Your ability to influence people within the sphere of your periphery will determine the impact that you make. Well, Cal Maritime graduates make an impact. They make an impact all over the world. Making an impact. It's not about making a nice impression. It's about making an impact. It's about doing your best. I learned how to make an impact from the wisest person I ever met in my life. A 3rd grade dropout.
I promised myself when I came into this game, if I was going to leave it, I would rather die on the field. But it's something that tearing my tricep taught me about there's 2 sides of pain that I don't think a lot of people really understand. Right? There's one side of pain that's the suffering and the discomfort side of pain. That's why everybody raised their hands when I first asked, have everybody ever been through pain? Because that hurts. You remember what that felt like. But then there's another side of pain. That's called effort. It's called glory. It's called if you can find a way to push through pain, there's something greater on the other side of it. And if you never tap into it, it's because the first time you felt it, you backed off. The first time you felt, that burn, the first time you felt that it's too much. And we rationalize with ourselves to where we automatically stop. That's why a bunch of us give up so much in life so quickly. That's why kids have a problem finishing things in today. Because as soon as they feel a small bit of discomfort, of things ain't right, they're gone. I can't do it anymore. But suppose I told you the greatest pain of my life is the reason I'm standing here.
That 3rd grade dropout, the wisest person I ever met in my life, who taught me to combine knowledge and wisdom to make an impact, was my father.
See, sometimes we think the pain is what controls us. It's actually our subconscious mind. That if we ever tapped into that, that's what dictates most of our lives. And I'm sitting there like 10 days out. Because see, pain is tricky. Because if you don't control pain, it'll control you. What makes you get up when you fall down? What makes your mentality change if there's a great situation or there's a bad situation? How do you dictate that based off the level of pain? Because I think that's where we're getting in trouble at. And so when I started cycling, when I started going to see these doctors, I realized that I turned my greatest pain into my greatest achievement. I asked my mom one day, I said, Mom, I said, would you mind me taking a call? Junior, I don't gamble in my house. Ain't no cars coming in my house. And I said, Mom, I don't need them for gambling. I don't want them for gambling. I just need a deck of cards, Mom.
And I want to tell you, I know what it takes to get where you are, and I need you to listen to me very carefully. I have 4 degrees. My brother is a judge. We're not the smartest ones in our family. It's a 3rd grade dropout daddy. A 3rd grade dropout daddy who was quoting Michelangelo when he was a cook at Cal Maritime, saying to us, boys, I won't have a problem if you aim high and miss, but I'm going to have a real issue if you aim low and hit. A country mother quoting Henry Ford, saying if you think you can or if you think you can't, you're right. You see, it takes knowledge and wisdom combined to grow your influence so that you'll make an impact. You'll be a shipmate that others can count on. I learned that from a 3rd grade drop. Simple lessons. Lessons like these. Son, don't judge people. Son, I've worked at Cal Maritime. You know, I've been all over the world. I've seen good and bad in every shade. Don't judge people. The tendency of a person is to walk away from somebody that's different from them.
My mom, for years, from the time I was 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, I've never saw a woman take so much in the way I've seen my mother. And I'm helping her, but I can't help her because I'm not strong enough. I don't have the muscle to get these men off my mother. My mother's a very high yellow woman, and every time they hit her, she would bleed from her eyes. She would walk around for days with sunglasses on in the house.
Another lesson from this 3rd grade dropout. Son, you'd rather be an hour early than a minute late. We never knew what time it was at my house because the clocks were always ahead. We were on Cal Maritime. Come on, somebody. Watch this. My father had the breakfast and lunch shift here at the academy. He had to be at work at 5 o'clock. We lived on Louisiana Street, 15 minutes away. My mother said for nearly 30 years, my father left the house at 3:45 in the morning. One day she asked him, why, Daddy? He said, maybe one of my boys will catch me in the act of excellence. George Washington Carver said, when common people do common things in uncommon ways, they command the attention of the world. I just described your grandmother. I know you're tough. I know you're seaworthy, but always remember to be kind. Always. Don't ever forget that. Never embarrass mama. Yeah.
I said, Mom, I need a deck of cards. Last altercation we got in, my stepfather hit my mama so hard in the face. My stepfather hit my mama so hard in the face, I called her. And I looked at him with this rage and this pain in my eyes. One day, and I took this deck of cards. I couldn't live in the house, so I had to live in the garage. And after this last altercation we had with this guy, I ran to my garage and I grabbed this deck of cards and I flipped a 7. And I started doing 7 push-ups. I flipped a 6, I did 6. I flipped a 9, I did 9. I flipped a 2, I did 2. I flipped another 9, I did 9. Until I got all the way through the deck. Jack, Queen, King, where was 10. Jack, Aces 25 and Jokers 50. Until I got sick and tired of what pain felt like in my gut. It didn't even matter to me anymore. Because I started shuffling them all over again, and that's when I started doing my sit-ups. Because I wanted to make sure sports wasn't the reason why I started training. It was to make sure man never put his hands on my mom.